going on to YouTube? This is SEO0320 representing JVS. Believe it or not, I was about to give up on the Vampire Diaries. After that last episode and just how it just didn't make any sense. I'm not knocking Ian Somerhalder for like directing it. It was just the way that they conceived it, as far as from a writing standpoint, it really bothered me. Days of Future Past, it put a damper on a lot of things for me. Now, I say all that to say that episode 17, I Went to the Woods, was an actually compelling story. And at the same exact time, it was heartfelt on a lot of different dimensions, because it drew center focus back to Stefan and Damon. Now, the weirdest thing about this season is that one of the most heartfelt episodes was when Damon was in hell, when he was stuck in the Phoenix Stone. That was one of the most amazing episodes they've done. And this one kind of takes the mode of that, because it moves everything full and center. Like, it asks you, okay, what are the dynamics of the relationship between Caroline and Alaric? Like, how can Alaric do this? Like, what is Alaric's play in having 3 years and now he's about to marry Caroline, even though we all know from an audience standpoint, and as well as other people know, like Valerie, that Stefan was literally on the run and trying to protect them. And at the same time, what is Valerie's agenda? Why does she go with Stefan? And, you know, all these different things get answered kind of in this episode. But one of the more immediate things is the fact that after what happened in the last episode, like with Mary Louise and her companion kill themselves, they blew up the stone, and you find out what is the after effect of this. You find out that Stefan is now out, but he's not in his own body. And it's like the fact of him being in a body of an alcoholic murderer, and that person going through withdrawals and dying, like it's really different, like, symmetry, because we've always wanted to see, Stefan has always wanted to be human, you know, and it's like to have him be stuck in that now in the worst time of his life, essentially, is very compelling, because he goes through, I think, the matter of fact, the person that plays Stefan, Paul Wesley, does a great job identifying not just with his character, but different dimensions of his character, because it goes through, like, man, like he went through a period of his life where he was going through bloodlust. We went through this period of life of being a murderer. Now, instinctively, the first thing he does when he wakes up is he wants to save people, you know? And I find it very fascinating. And then not just that, he is not ready to forgive Damon for what he did. Like, that gets brought up in this episode. And Damon does everything he can to make up for it. Matter of fact, I love the way this episode began. Because it began, I was thinking, man, they just gonna full forward, and like Damon's gonna find Stefan and he's just gonna be woken up and it's not gonna be Stefan. Instead, they take time to linger there. Like, how is Valerie affected? How is she upset with Damon? Like, all these different things kind of come out. And like Damon, even of himself, like he identifies with Valerie. He's like, look, I am scum. And even with Stefan, like it was really good conversation. Even though Bonnie wasn't in this episode, Enzi wasn't in this episode, those questions are still being answered. They add in actually a whole different arc, because now all the vampires that were in that stone, it's a possibility of them all being out. And now in other bodies, either vampire bodies or human bodies. And so it's a very scary situation, and it makes up a little bit for the Days of Future Past. It just could have been, Days of Future Past could have been so epic, you know. But this episode is actually really good. I actually really like this episode. I'm on the border between the 8.5 and a 9 out of 10, because I just love Paul Wesley's, man, I don't know, his vulnerability, man. Like, when he's at his most vulnerable point, I think when Stefan had to sacrifice his life and his bloodlust to try to save Damon to get the blood from Klaus, that was one of the most, you know, impactful moments, because it was like pure sacrifice. And now Damon's on the other side of this receiving end, and it's like Paul Wesley's character, Stefan, is very vulnerable. Like, he's human. So I really like that. The thing that I don't like is the fact that Alaric is a douchebag. Like, this is making me really hate Alaric, like, for a lot of different reasons, which I don't want to go into, because this wasn't supposed to be technically a spoiler review. But if you watch the episode, you see what I'm saying. So any of y'all that were on the fence about the Vampire Diaries, you know what I'm saying, like, this is a step in the right direction. I'm just curious to see where they're going to go with Bonnie and Enzo's character. So, I don't know. I actually enjoyed the episode. I'm between, like I said, 8.5 and a 9 out of 10. I'll probably leave it at like maybe I don't know, 8.9 or 8.8. Let's leave it at that. Anyway, hopefully y'all enjoyed this review for Vampire Diaries episode 17. I'm not gonna quit the show just yet. Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. Peace out.